Do you ever find yourself avoiding challenging conversations, fearing conflict or confrontation? Whether it's discussing sensitive topics with a loved one, addressing performance issues with a colleague, or negotiating a difficult situation at work, difficult conversations are an inevitable part of life. Yet, many of us struggle to navigate them effectively, often resorting to avoidance or confrontation, which only exacerbates the problem. So how do we steer these tough discussions in a way that sound less confrontational and more impactful? The book Difficult Conversations by Douglas Stone answers all these questions. Here are 10 mind-blowing conversation techniques from the book. Let's start. The 3 Conversations Model. The first technique, 3 Conversations Model, is a practical framework for tackling difficult discussions. It's like a roadmap that helps you navigate through tough conversations by breaking them down into 3 main parts. The first part is called What Happened. This part is all about getting clear on the facts. Think of it as laying out the groundwork. Who said what actually occurred. It's about understanding the situation from a factual standpoint. To use this technique, start by objectively examining the events leading up to the conversation. Gather information and ensure that everyone involved is on the same page regarding what has transpired. The second part is, what do we feel? Emotions often run high in difficult conversations, and this part of the model addresses just that. It's about acknowledging and respecting the emotions involved, both yours and the other person's. What exactly do you feel? Or what is the other person feeling? This helps us address the situation with compassion and consideration. The third part is, how does it go with my identity? This aspect delves into how the conversation affects your sense of self and values. It's like taking a step back to reflect on who you are in the context of the discussion. To put this into perspective, in this part you should consider how the conversation challenges or reaffirms your beliefs and self-image. Be mindful of how your words and actions impact not only the conversation, but also your own identity and that of the other person. Separate intention from impact. Separating intention from impact is about recognizing the fact that what someone meant to convey might not always align with how their actions or words were perceived. Understanding intentions involves empathizing with the other person's perspective and considering their motivations behind their behavior. It's about assuming positive intent and giving them the benefit of the doubt. On the other hand, recognizing impact requires acknowledging the actual effect that actions or words had on someone else. It involves listening actively and empathetically to understand how the behavior was received, regardless of the intentions behind it. By separating intention from impact, we can avoid placing blame and defensiveness. Instead, we can focus on understanding the other person's experience and perspective. This shift in focus fosters empathy and mutual understanding, making it easier to resolve conflicts constructively. The and stance. Embracing the and stance involves accepting that 2 seemingly conflicting ideas or feelings can coexist simultaneously. For instance, you can feel frustrated with someone's actions while still appreciating their overall contribution. This mindset allows for a more nuanced understanding of situations, rather than being trapped in an either-or mindset, which can hinder communication and empathy. In practical terms, embracing the and stance means acknowledging complexity and embracing multiple perspectives. It means recognizing that people and situations are rarely black and white, and there can be shades of gray. By adopting the and stance, you open yourself up to greater empathy, understanding, and flexibility in difficult conversations. It allows you to see the full picture and find common ground even amidst disagreement. Expressing feelings without blame. In challenging conversations, expressing feelings is crucial, but it's essential to do so without allocating blame or fault, as blame can escalate conflict and hinder resolution. When expressing yourself, start your sentences with I rather than you. For example, say I feel frustrated instead of you are frustrating. This shifts the focus to your own feelings and experiences, making it less likely to provoke defensiveness in the other person. Focus on the emotions you're experiencing rather than criticizing the other person's actions. For instance, say I feel disappointed instead of you always let me down. This allows you to convey your feelings without directly blaming the other person. Moreover, provide specific examples or situations that illustrate your feelings. This helps the other person understand the context and impact of their actions without feeling attacked. For example, say, when you didn't follow through on your promise, I felt let down, rather than making sweeping generalizations. It's also important to show vulnerability time to time by expressing how the other person's actions made you feel. This can create empathy and encourage a more open and honest dialogue. Shift from certainty to curiosity. Shifting from a stance of certainty to one of curiosity is a powerful strategy for navigating difficult conversations. Rather than entering the discussion with the sole intention of proving your point, embrace a mindset of genuine curiosity about the other person's perspective. This involves actively asking open-ended questions to encourage them to share their thoughts and feelings openly. For example, you could ask, "Can you help me understand why you feel that way?" Or, "What experiences have shaped your viewpoint on this issue?" Throughout the conversation, it's important to maintain an open-minded attitude and refrain from making hasty judgments or assumptions. Instead, focus on actively listening without passing immediate judgment, allowing the other person to express themselves fully. For instance, you might acknowledge shared values by saying, "It seems like we both want what's best for the team, even if we have different approaches." This approach not only leads to more productive conversations, but also strengthens relationships by promoting empathy, respect, and a shared commitment to finding constructive solutions. Problem solving through exploration. Problem solving through exploration is a method that, rather than focusing on the problem, prioritizes on finding a solution. It is all about understanding each other's perspectives to reach a mutually satisfactory answer. In this process, people engage in brainstorming sessions where they openly share ideas and explore different possibilities. By encouraging creativity and innovation, you can uncover novel solutions that may not have been initially apparent. For example, if two team members have conflicting preferences regarding project timelines, they might explore alternative scheduling options or task delegation methods to find a compromise that works for both. Central to problem solving through exploration is the active consideration of each party's needs and interests. By valuing and incorporating diverse perspectives, individuals can foster a collaborative environment where everyone feels heard and respected. Third story technique. Starting from the third story is a technique aimed at creating a more neutral and objective conversation by describing the issue from an outsider's perspective, often referred to as the third story. This approach helps to depersonalize the conflict and reduce defensiveness, allowing for a more constructive dialogue. In practice, the third story involves describing the problem or conflict in neutral terms, focusing solely on the objective facts and observable behaviors without attributing blame or judgment to either party. For example, instead of saying "John always interrupts during meetings," a third story description might be, "During recent team meetings, interruptions have occurred when discussing project timelines." By facilitate a more open and less confrontational conversation. Responding to what's not being said. Responding to what's not being said involves reading between the lines and paying attention to nonverbal cues, as well as subtle indications that may not be explicitly expressed verbally. In many conversations, important information, feelings, or concerns can be conveyed through body language, tone of voice, or pauses in speech. To effectively respond to what's not being said, it's essential to practice active listening and observe the other person's nonverbal behavior attentively. This includes maintaining eye contact, noticing changes in facial expressions, gestures, posture, and tone of voice. For example, if someone appears tense or avoids eye contact while discussing a particular topic, it may indicate discomfort or underlying issues that need to be addressed. Additionally, be mindful of silence during conversations, as it can often signal unspoken thoughts or emotions. Instead of rushing to fill the silence with more talk, allow space for the other person to express themselves or gather their thoughts. This can provide valuable insights into their perspective and feelings. By honing your ability to respond to what's not being said, you can deepen your understanding of the conversation and the individuals involved. Stop controlling the outcome. In conversations, it's crucial to understand that you cannot dictate how others will react or what choices they'll make. Rather than attempting to influence their responses, prioritize managing your own behavior and contributing positively to the conversation. This means acknowledging that everyone brings their own perspectives, emotions, and autonomy to the table. Instead of imposing your expectations, focus on fostering a constructive and respectful exchange by taking responsibility for your own conduct. By maintaining control over your actions and emphasizing mutual respect, you create a conducive environment for meaningful dialogue. This approach not only encourages openness and understanding, but also cultivates healthier relationships built on authenticity and mutual consideration. Develop a learning stance. Approaching difficult conversations with a learning stance means seeing them as chances to understand the other person, yourself, and the situation better. Instead of seeing them as battles to win or avoid, this mindset helps you learn and grow from each interaction. By adopting this approach, you open yourself up to new perspectives and insights that can challenge your own views. It encourages curiosity, empathy, and humility, creating a more positive environment for communication and understanding. Overall, having a learning stance in conversations promotes personal growth, strengthens relationships, and leads to more effective problem solving. It's about embracing every interaction as an opportunity to learn and improve. If you have made it this far, comment down below with the word 100% to confirm that you have received the knowledge from this video. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.